Hello YouTube, I am Subham and you are watching Coder Commune. So today we will start with another tutorial where we will see how we can consume one of the external REST API into our Spring Boot application. So we will try to consume one of the REST API which is external API, and we will try to consume and we will try to perform the operation on those data after consuming that API. So let's get started with this. So first I will go to that Spring initializer and I will create one Spring Boot project. So let's come here, let's create one. This is the spring start.spring.io. Here you can come and create one simple Spring Boot project. So I'm going to give the package name as Code Commune. So this is the things, and now I'm going to write the artifact ID as maybe some kind of, because I'm going to try with the one of the API that is the countries and city API. So what it will do, it will give you the countries and all the cities of those countries, right? So I'm going to perform the operation on this. So I'm going to write like country API, maybe country consume API or country API, whatever. So country city API, let me write the country city API. So this is the our application, and okay, so this is our application, and now let me just remove this part. Okay, I'm going to make the Maven project, not the Gradle. So that's choose the Maven, and the language is Java, version is 3.0.1, and I'm going to use the Java 17 maybe. So that's correct. And now I'm going to add few of the dependencies. The first dependency will be the Springboot, as we are going to create one of the REST API also for consuming that API. And then I'm going to add on Lombok for the getter and setter, and also we are going to add that dev tools. That's it. Now I'll generate this and then I will download. So it will be download one zip. So what I will do, I'll go and I'll just extract those files. So I'm going to the download file. Okay, so this is the zip file. Now I'll go to this package. Here I'll just paste it. Now I'll just extract it here. Extract all inside this, not this. Okay, so okay, we are having this country. Okay, so this is the project. Now I'm going to IntelliJ. Now I'm opening this project. So we created that country city API. Okay, so now it's loading. So meanwhile, I'm going to tell you about, like, I'm going to consume that API using that. There are the multiple methods, there are multiple processes, and I'm going to try with the one of the approach, that is the RestTemplate. So using RestTemplate, I will just consume that external API and then try to perform the operations on that. So let's try this and let's open this. Let me create one package that is kind of controller. So I've created one package as the controller, and now let me just create one class that is kind of API controller. So, or maybe the country controller or the city controller, whatever. So I'm going to write the controller. City controller, okay. And now just annotate with as REST controller maybe. Okay, and now I'm going to create one method. So that is kind of, I will create one of the API method. So let me just return the list of object maybe. Okay, that is kind of list of object. Get city. This is the API, and now this will be kind of gate mapping. So I'm going to add this gate mapping and the path as maybe the city, cities, whatever. So I'm going to give the cities. And now here is the thing. So first I have to create that REST template object, right? So just write REST template and maybe the template using new REST template. Okay, that's we have created the one template object. And then what we need to do, we need to write the response, right? So first using the URI, so we need to go for that API, which API we need to call. So that API will be this is the link. So from here I will be using one of the cities API, so get all countries and their cities. So I will be using this get API. I'll paste the link in the description itself so that you can use directly. And so this is the API I'm going to call, and I will just write here the URI equal to just as, okay. So this is the URI for the API URI template dot get for object. And so now we need to pass that URL. So I'm going to pass that URI and also the class in which we are going to store that. So I'm going to currently pass that object and dot class. Okay, and now just I'm going to store it some kind of object array. So like currently I'm going to give the object array, and now this is kind of objects, right? So now as you can see, this is giving the error. So what I will do, I will just surround with array initializations, right? So now this is correct. And now what I will do, I'll just try to return arrays dot as list, and here I will pass this objects. And now just simply run this application, and then we will go to that our postman to call that API. So meanwhile let's go to our postman, and there I will try to call the API. So the request will be kind of get. So this is the postman API tools, and here I will just write the localhost colon 8080 slash, and that is kind of cities, right? Cities. So okay, our code is compiled and this is kind of cities. So I'm going to just write cities. So cities, and now I'm going to call this API. So let me see this kind of what kind of data we are going to eat, and so it will take few minutes. Okay, yeah. So as you can see, we are getting data. It is getting formatted. Yeah. So we are getting this kind of data where we are having one field as error, and then the MSG kind of message, and then we are having kind of data. So this is our important part. So in the data itself, there is kind of for each country there is kind of ISO 2 and then ISO 3, and then country, and then country name, and the cities, the respective cities of those countries, right? So we are having kind of multiple cities, multiple countries, and there the list of cities, right? So this is currently we are having that simply the list of objects. So what I will try to do, I will create one kind of POJO class, and there I will try to store that data, and then we will try to perform some operations on that. Okay, because I want to do, because currently we are getting this kind of messy data. So what I want to do, I want to create a method. Using that I will get the only the data using the country name and those cities, like only the if I put the India, so India will have all the cities, right? So I will just try to keep that kind of thing. So okay, so let's just create a few our POJO classes. Okay, so I'm going to write, first I will create some kind of package, and that package will be your dot entity, and here I will create one kind of maybe the data request or something. So request data response and this is the class. And so here what we will do, we will give some kind of what field we can give. So as you can see, we are currently getting what kind of data. The first level is the three keys, that is the error, message and data, right? So private boolean, the first is the boolean data, so I'm going to give the private boolean error, and then we are having private string, then that is kind of MSG, and then we are having that kind of list of, okay, so list of countries, right? So here I will provide list of countries. Okay, so this is kind of list of countries, and this will be acted as data. Yeah, so the first level was the three keys, that is the error, MSG and the data. So I created that field. Now I'm going to create this list of countries. So I'm going to create one class, a list of countries, right? So this is the things. Now I'm going to create few data here, few fields here, that will be kind of, now let's see what kind of data inside the countries. So we are having four thing here, the ISO 02, ISO 2, ISO 3 and the country and the list of cities, right? So the first is private, so private string ISO 2, then we are having kind of private string ISO 3, maybe private string ISO 3, and then we are having the private string country. Okay, and then we are going to give the private list of city, and this is kind of cities, right? So this is the list of cities, and this will be either we can give like this, and I'm going to create one more class that will be kind of city. And this will consist of only the string city, maybe. So I'm going to give that private string city. So this is the POJO classes. And now one thing, I'm going to add the Lombok here. So we have added Lombok, so I'm going to add data, then no arc constructor maybe, and then we will have all arc constructor. The same thing we will keep doing for that other classes also. So go for that countries, and we will do that same, and then this for the city as well. So that is perfect, right? And now we will go to this city controller. So as you can see, we are getting the objects. So we need to map it, right? So we need to use the ObjectMapper here, because currently we are having that JSON data, right? So we need to map these objects to our own objects, the classes which we have created, data response, and so in that we will map that. So first we need to create the ObjectMapper. So ObjectMapper equal to new ObjectMapper. Okay, so now I'm going to give that we need to perform some kind of a stream here. So arrays dot stream, that is should come. Okay, yeah. So now here I will pass that objects, and dot, now here I will try to do that mapping, and then I will pass that ObjectMapper here, ObjectMapper. So firstly I will create just some simple, just like one of the lambda expression, right? So that is kind of okay. So here I am going to pass that object mapper here. Object mapper dot, there are something called as the convert value. Okay, as you are getting the suggestions, so convert value, and then I'm going to pass that the object, and then we need to pass that data response dot class, DTO which we have created, data response. Okay, data response dot class, this is the thing. Okay, so now we got this mapper, we map the objects. Now dot map, I'm going to get that some kind of we are getting the data response, right? So data response, and I'm going to use that method reference. So method reference get data, this is correct, right? So now what I'm going to do, I will collect it into the list. So collector dot list. Okay, so this is the collector dot list, and okay, so what it will do, it will giving the list of countries. So as you can see, this is the giving the list of countries. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get that dot get, I'm going to put some kind of index, right? So and then I'm going to put it some in that list of country, maybe a list of country. Okay, so list of countries and countries, right? So this is going to like this, we have created that countries, and then I'm just going to change the return type here, because now we are having the data as a list of countries, right? So I'm just going to change our data type, so return type, right? This will be kind of that. Okay, list of countries, and then just here remove this part, and now just simply return that. Now what is, currently we are getting the countries, right? So we are now getting kind of countries, and countries let's see first, let's see what kind of data we will get here. So first let's just run it, and after that I'll call that. So currently it's running, so we should get the same data, and then after that we will perform that API. We will perform some kind of operation here, filtration part. Okay, so our code is running perfectly, right? Yeah, so now I'm going to call that API again. I'm just making the request here. Yeah, so now you can see we are simply getting only kind of the country details, not that kind of error and MSG kind of fields. So we are only getting the country details, right? So the country ISO code and the country and they are the cities, right? So currently having the list of country, all the available countries here, right? So now I'm going to do, I have stored inside these countries. Okay, so we have stored inside this country, and what I'm going to do, not I will just create the simple static method, a list of, not that, equal to kind of countries here, and non-new array list. Okay, so we are having this, correct? And okay, so now we are having these countries, and in the country, this is the returning this kind of list of country. And now I'm going to create one more API, and that API will be kind of public list of, again, the countries. Okay, but this will be kind of filtration, right? Because I don't want to call the API again and again. Okay, so just going to write the get city. So here is kind of get city again. I'll just modify the name, because previously I didn't had some kind of okay, so country, this is kind of get country or the countries or the country list, get country details, and this is the get country details. And now from here it will return the list of countries, and then here I will just call that and get this using the city name, right? So this is the kind of get of city, and here I'll also modify some kind of cities. Okay, let me just write the get mapping again, get mapping, and then I will pass some kind of cities. Okay, city, this is the kind of only city. And here what I will do, I will just return what I'm going to do, countries. We are having countries, right? So countries dot stream, we are going to perform some kind of filtration. Okay, so filtration, and then what I'm going to do, I'll pass one of the lambda expression, e dot get country, right? So what kind of data I want, there are currently lots of countries, right? All the available country are there, like Afghanistan and every country like Australia, India, Japan, all those countries are available here. So what I will do, I'll just take country India. I want to get the details of only the country India, right? So dot equals, here I will provide the India. Okay, and now just collector dot list, right? So this is the things. Okay, now again I will rerun because I modified some kind of list. So I will rerun that again. I'll call that API, and then I will call the different APIs for the operations. So once it's finished, then I will go to the call that API. Okay, so our application started successfully, and now again I'll call this API, and then again I want to create another call. Okay, so this is the correct data I'm getting currently for all the list of countries. I am calling that API only, the previous main API that for the consuming, and now I will call this filtration part of the API. Okay, so I'm going to create another request, that is get request only, the local host. Okay, so this is only, and here I'll just modify the name city because we have provided the API as a city, right? See, this is for the filtration part. So this will be, now you can see we are only getting India, right? So India country is the India and all the available city of the India, right? So we are getting only this. As you can see, we are getting only the country as in all the cities of the India only. So this is the very beautiful, like we have created we have consumed one of the external API and then performed the filtration on that data. And we have also seen that like how we can map our consuming the API data to that our own custom object, right? So we have seen the mapper part also, and then we perform that filtration on that data also. So that's all about this video. I hope you have enjoyed and understood it very well. And if you are having any doubt, any query regarding this application, and if regarding this topic, you can ask in the comment section itself. And till then, now like I would like to call bye bye. Thank you.